What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and this video I want to talk about Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii and its review scores. Now, look, I'm also going to talk about and actually primarily focus on what's being said in these scores, not necessarily the scores themselves. Now, sitting right now on Metacritic, it's got a 79. 79 is about where I thought it was going to be. I actually did a predictions YouTube short, and I think I said like an 81. You look at The Man Who Erased His Name, you look at some of the quote-unquote weaker entries in the series, which, by the way, I think The Man Who Erased His Name is an awesome game. They get somewhere in the low 80s. This actually, I think, would be kind of towards the bottom of all of them. However, okay, it's got a 10 out of 10 from VG247. It's got plenty of 9s. It's got plenty of 8s, 8.5s, 8.7s, all that jazz. But it's also got some lower scores. It's got a lot of 70s. It's got actually quite a few, maybe like 5 or 6 out of 10s, okay? And now, again, in terms of what the scores are, I really don't care. I don't make my purchasing decision. I'm not buying the game because it got a 79 versus a 77, 81. I want to talk pretty briefly in this video about what they're actually saying. Now, look, I'm getting the game this Friday. I'll be playing it. I want to get you guys a review of mine as quickly as I can, okay? I'm very passionate about this series, and I want to talk about it, in video format. So I'll be doing that, and these don't scare me off. It's just I don't like it. I don't really like what I'm hearing about it. So I would say a common theme, no matter if they gave it a 9, 8.5, 8, 6, whichever score it is, some of the themes of the actual content, right? What they're saying in the reviews, weak main story. I'm kind of seeing back and forth on how did they use Majima himself. Many people seemingly are saying well, it's fun to see him and he's unhinged and it's cool and all this jazz. But I'm not seeing a lot of, oh yeah, they really found that perfect way to tell a story with them. And this is something that, I've made a couple videos now, 2 or 3 videos on the channel. I care about this character. I think there's more to him than just he's the mad dog, right? And you don't have to care emotionally about what's happening. He's just kind of unhinged. I don't like that. I think I like that part to him, but there's more to that character. And ignoring that part and just not even doing anything with it, I feel is a pretty big disservice to him. So again, it's something I'm going to be focusing on. I always was going to focus on that when the game comes out. But it doesn't make me happy reading some of these reviews and hearing weak plot. Depending on which one I read, higher ones tend to put more excitement and quality. They say, the side stuff is pretty okay, side stories, etc. The lower ones, though, say the side stuff is also bad, side stories and whatnot. So depending on the review, the main story is weak, and then the side stories are weak, depending on which score and which person you're talking about. So, look, at the end of the day, a game like this, that's not the sole reason that you might be getting it, or that's maybe not the sole thing you're looking forward to. For me, that's a pretty big part of it, because really it's the 2 parts. It's Majima and the story and what they potentially could do there, and then also the ship stuff. I actually did see many people talking about the 2 different brawler style fighting. That's actually almost as good as it's ever been. I saw quite a few people say that, so that's cool. The ship stuff, I saw some people say it felt like kind of an excuse just to refresh the side content. I saw other people say, it's actually one of the weaker elements of this game. Don't like hearing that because the ship stuff looks freaking cool. I'm really excited. Look, we want it to be a Black Flag 2. If this is not the most in-depth ship combat thing of all time, it's not going to break my heart, but I do want there to be a couple layers to it. I want it to at least be fun to go around and sink ships. And, we know the Coliseum, in this world, and, they've talked about the mechanics of that. The Coliseum is going to have side quests and kind of a gauntlet-type trial thing. I'm excited to do all that stuff, but I'm only excited if the ship stuff is good. If it's not very good, then I'm not going to be as excited. I did see, and this is another I know I'm kind of just focusing on the negatives here. Again, there are positives, just in general, it's a pretty fine game. We're not talking about a terrible game. We're talking about some elements that maybe let people down, at least from what I'm seeing. But I did see a lot of people, and I know this might sound weird, okay? I saw a lot of people very much leaning into that this is a spin-off game, and I don't know, maybe it's I didn't look this deep into The Man Who Erased His Name, maybe I didn't care as much, whatever it might be. For me, it's there's spin-off games, they're main entry games, whatever. There's always a charm to Like a Dragon, Yakuza, whatever, And it just feels like people are saying it as in, like, just so you know, like, wink, wink, nod, nod. This is a spin-off game. This is a spin-off game. Lower your expectations. Lower your standards. This is a spin-off game. I don't know. Like, I guess we always knew that. We always knew this was literally a spin-off game. But that, again, actually goes to my point about Majima and the story and the stuff like that. That doesn't mean you phone it in. That doesn't mean you just don't try. Because, yeah, it's like smaller scale in some ways, I guess. You're not being as ambitious in certain things. I saw a lot of people talking about, again, not just the side stuff with the story, but just the repetition of mechanics. There was pacing things people talked about. Things like that. That's not what you like to hear because, I mean, it's a shorter game. It's a smaller game. You should be focusing on those 20, 30 hours that you have. At the same time, it is a Yakuza game. It is a Like a Dragon game. I think there's always going to be some sort of quality, you know, with that. So I'm really interested to see what this thing like turns out to be. Again, I'm not trying to paint it as in like people thought this was like, you know, garbage, like literal trash. It just feels like a letdown from what people are saying, and maybe it's how you set your expectations, all that stuff. I'm excited. I still am very, very excited to play this game. Again, what I was looking for from it, I always was, I guess, and I always am going to be looking for. Okay, so these scores, they don't scare me off, but they do highlight, actually, funny enough, or ironically enough, some of like the important themes or some of the important elements that I was already looking towards for this game, things that I already was going to be critical of. A lot of these actually were addressed, funny enough, by these critics, so I guess they did their job. That's good on them. Like I said, I'm excited to get into it. I'm excited to give you guys my own review and just kind of see where it goes from there. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.